The 19th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Pay. We are back. Okay.
13A1.
Elohad Tznan.
So, Lou, are we on for this afternoon?
Yeah.
Rabbi said he was getting a replacement, right?
Yeah.
I have page 13A1, right-hand column. Abaye proposes.
Is that right, Rabbi? Abaye Amar?
Baye? Which Abaye? Abaye Mar Edav Bechasumov.
Yeah. That's it. That's where we are.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's start. Abaye Amar Edav Bechasumov. Okay, Alan, you want to read?
Abaye proposed another explanation for the law that a borrower may draw up a loan document without the lender being there, being present. Abaye says a door the notes witnesses by their signatures acquire lien for recipient at the moment they sign the note. Thus, even if the actual loan transaction is made only at a later date, the lien has already taken effect earlier at that time of the note signing. Filu shetorei the delay he could not, or even in the case of notes not of the acquisition type, i.e., even regarding ordinary loan documents. And why does Abaye advance this novel concept that the witnesses, by their very signing of the note, acquire the lien on behalf of the creditor? Mishum de or lay, he advances concept because the following difficulty concern him regarding Rav Asi's explanation. Kevon the Ras Mishatorei the Alo Hakanono. Since you follow Rav Asi's view maintained regarding notes not of the acquisition type, for example, ordinary loan documents, key lesoyor l'mala di lo kas binor, that when the lender is not present with the borrower, we do not drop the loan document. Because there is no need to be apprehensive that perhaps so it happened that they did act improperly and drew up a note prior to the date of the loan.
I don't understand this at all. What are the witnesses signing on about? Nothing happened. All they did was write up the document. How can there be witnesses on such a document? The document is a document that said that there was a loan that was made. How could witnesses sign on the document at this point if the lender is not even there? He's obviously not making the loan right now. Something needs to be clarified over here. Abaya Omar Adov B'chasumov Zochin Lo. With their signature on this document, they are giving a right to the lender that's written on this note, even if he doesn't give the money. That the karka that is in the possession of the borrower is going to be on lien to pay to pay for what? What's it on lien for? It's crazy.
There's a footnote, but it doesn't help.
I don't. How could there be such a thing?
The footnote talks about post-dating and pre-dating.
Yeah. Okay. That's something good to know about.
Maybe what it's saying is that they signed the document at the time that the loan is made, but they date it an earlier date, and therefore they authorize the lien as of the earlier date. It doesn't say that explicitly here, but I'm just thinking from what it says, maybe that's what we say.
Okay.
Actually,
I have a note that
you found all my chicken.
that this chus that the lender has, this right that he has to collect from the property, is only in the event that the note actually eventually comes into the possession of the lender. And the only way that it's going to eventually come into his possession
Do you need more popcorn?
is if if he lends the money. But I still don't understand what the witnesses are signing. They're signing that the Gemora is saying that when the witnesses sign from that date which they sign on, we're going to say that that's going to be the date where the even before the loan has been made, but that'll be the date when the Levitt is giving the right to the lender to collect from the property from that date. I can understand that, but I can't understand. I mean, I can't understand.
Right. The door is open, okay?
And that's the loan hasn't been made. So what are they? They cannot. In other words, what's my problem? The witnesses can't sign on the document that a loan has been made if the loan has not yet been made. So it seems a bit strange over here. Okay. Anyway, but that's however it works. That's what the Gemora is saying. With their signature, that already gives the power and the right to the lender to collect from the property from that date. And even if it's not a shtar hakna, we could get just like we give that. That's the way we understand a shtar hakna. That the right to collect comes from the date that's written on the shtar hakna. So too, we're saying with the signature of the witnesses, even in a ordinary loan document, that'll also be the case. That's what Abaye says. And why does he say like this? Mishum de kashale, because he had a kasha. Kevin de Amar Bishtari de Lab Haknoa Gilese Lamalba Bahade Lo Kasvinan. Since you said that if it's an ordinary loan document, so if the malva is not there, you shouldn't write such a document. Lekala mechash de ikre bekosuv. So he's relying on the fact that such a thing is not done. Generally. So we don't. Okay. We have a Rashi over here, Abaya Omar. Let's see if we can read this Rashi.
I can give it a try, but I'm warning you, I might be called away.
Okay.
Oh, the phone's ringing. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm good. What's going on?
Okay. So let's see what this Rashi says. By Omar, harder tanan kosmin shtar laloive below malve afilu bishtar the lav hakno nami vi nami osi lemitraf meha idna vuhulo lova ad tishrei lo shelo kedinhu. It's not improper.
Okay.
The Edav b'chasumov sochenlo, because we're saying that the Edim with their signature they give the right already to the malva.
I can look.
Yom shechasmuhu zochenloi hashibud.
Send me a link to it, please.
At that point, the property becomes encumbered. Yafilu lo hilva hamos ad tishrei. And even if he's not going to loan the money until Tishrei, Ulahachi muki le Abaye b'hai taima. And for this reason, Abaye holds like this, Mishum de kashale, because he had a difficulty. Kaven de Amar, since you said Aval Hashta, Nan Kosvin, but now that you have said kosvin, that we do write it, even if the malva is not there, chashinen, then we do actually have a chashash. Dilma kosov the lavos velolova. Maybe the whole document was written in anticipation of an impending loan, but the loan actually was not made. Will come my porich, and therefore the Gemora is going to ask shortly, "Amai lo yaksir?" Harei zochule edov v'chasumov v'shaper torif. He already gets the rights, the lender, from the time that the that the witnesses sign, and therefore he's properly able to uh, to take the property away from the buyer. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Yeah, quite difficult. Wow, it's really quite difficult. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Difficult Gemara. Okay, so let's go on. That's what we can do. Maybe soon we'll get to an easier Gemara. In the meantime, I don't know what to say. This Gemara needs a lot of study. So we're up to in the Gemara Elahad Etznan. Okay, who's able to read now?
I'll give it a try.
Okay, good.
Ella ha tisnan. But if so, that denotes witnesses by their signature acquire that which we have learned in the Mishnah is difficult. Matzah Gita Nashim. If one found bills of divorce, V'shich Rure Avadim, or bills of emancipation of slaves, Diatiki, or sickbed wills, Matana, or gift documents, the shoverim, or receipts of loan payments, Hare ze lo yachazir. Behold, these should not be returned to the recipients named in them. Shema bechuve hayu. We are concerned that perhaps the documents had been written with the intent to give them Benim lach alehem shelo lit nas.
Litnam.
Litnam. But subsequently, the author reconsidered and decided not to give them.
Want me to continue?
What, Malin?
So you want me to continue? Gemara now explains.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the Gemara now explains how the Mishnah poses a difficulty to Abaye's view. V'chi nimlach alehem my hamri. But even if the authors of the documents did reconsider regarding these documents and decided not to give them, as suspected by the Mishnah, what is the problem that prevents the return of the document to the recipient? Behor omoras a dov sumor zachon lo. But you say that the document's witnesses were the same to acquire. Thus, even if the document was in fact not given over, the transaction is nevertheless effective from the moment the witnesses signed it. If so, what harm is done by returning the document to its recipient, even if it is true that it was in fact never given to him as expected by the Mishnah. A little confusing here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really confusing. Okay. Okay, do we have any Rashi over here? We have some. Rashi's just explaining what these different documents are. Okay, let's read them. The Rashi Dibur Maskil Daitike. It's about 15 lines, narrow lines down from where the narrow lines of Rashi begin.
I
That's
see.
the line.
Daitiki. Zoach. Shekiv.
Oh, Savas.
Zovas. Zovas.
With a tzadi, like a tzava.
Oh, it's a tzadi. Oh, Tzovas. Shechiv. Mara. Ulashon. Dayasiki. Da. Tiku. Zos. Tikum. De Davri Shechiv Mara Kaka Suvin Kim Sorin Dame. This is hard. I think I need help translating this.
Okay, so Daitike Rashi translates is a notricon, sort of like an acronym for the tzavas shchiv meira. A tzava is like a will or a last instructions command from the word tziva to command. So it's the command of a shchiv meira, someone who is on his it's a way of explaining that he's on his deathbed. V'lashon daitiki da tiku zos tikum. It's the word daitiki is made of an acronym of 4 different words. Da tiku, this document. Zos tikum says that like this you should do. Divrei shchiv meira keksuvim ukemesurin dami. Oh, so the tikum means it's established, because even though the words of the shchiv meira are simply words, but they have the force and effect of being written down and already given over. Because otherwise, it's not going to work at all. If they're not going to have time to write it down and deliver it, so then the wishes of the shchiv meira are not going to be honored. Okay, so anyways, that's what the daitiki is that we're talking about in this over here. So, here in this case, it was written down. It was written down, but it questionable whether it was actually delivered to the recipient. Okay. Okay, the next one is matana.
Matana, a gift. Matanas Bari. I don't know what Bari is.
Bori is a person who's not a shchib meira. He's healthy.
It's a gift from a healthy person?
Yes. So in other words, that is like any other document. It's got, unless it's been delivered to the recipient, it won't be effective. Because we'll say, oh, maybe he wrote it, but he changed his mind. He didn't want to give it. And that's exactly what this Mishnah over here is talking about. A document was written up, but then the person decided not to give it.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go get the phone.
Okay.
The Gemara answers, is that the next part? They're drilling outside our door. They're working on the elevator and the steps.
Oh, wow. Constant noise.
The elevator won't be ready for about 2 years, I think.
2 years. Oh, boy.
Okay. The Gemara answers, the last paragraph on the left side.
Okay, gotcha.
Milay.
Appreciate that. You sent me the third book.
Yeah, the Gemara answers honey mili.
Okay. Okay. The Gemara answers, Milay. This principle of Abaye applies only Hechor, the core, more two, day, where the documents eventually reach the prospective recipient's hand. For example, the author subsequently conveyed the document to the recipient, thereby executing the transaction recorded therein.
Yeah.
Aval, Hechor, the low, more two, the day, low, renewed, but where the documents did not eventually reach the respective recipient's hand, for example, the transaction was never executed, we do not apply this principle. Therefore, the concern voiced in the Mishnah on 18a that the author of the document might have reconsidered and decided not to give these documents is a legitimate one, since in that case, the transaction detailed in the document was never executed. The Gemara now explores how Abaye understands our Mishnah, which thinks about the return of loan documents. Elora Misni and the Corso name, but Abaye will apparently find difficulty with our Mishnah, which states, if one found notes of the Devious Ibyesh or head Roos the Sin low if there is a lien on a property in the notes, the finder may not return them to the creditor. And which we have interpreted as referring to a case where the debtor admits that the debt is indeed owed. Gemora, Kosav, Lilaos, Nison, below, more, Ad, Tishrei, not to be returned is because we are apprehensive that perhaps the debtor drew up the note to borrow in the month of Nisan, but did not actually borrow the money until the month of Tishrei, and the creditor has come to unlawfully seize real property from its person. The Gemora now presents a problem that arises according to the Bible's view and prefaces this with a review of how the
Oh,
mission.
one second, Alan. Let's try to understand what's going on over here. So the Gemara is saying that according to the mission that we started with about Shtare Chov, so we said that if it's got a provision to collect from the property of a purchaser of property from the borrower, so we don't give it back. So because we're concerned that maybe the loan document was made in 6 months before the actual loan was given. So he said, "B'shleimel Rav Asi the Amar b'shtare aknaisa." So according to Rav Ashi, the Gemara says the Mishnah is good. Muki lo b'shtare the lav aknaisa. We'll say that it's talking about shtar, which is not aknaisa. In other words, he holds aknaisa, there wouldn't be a problem. But a regular loan document, there would be a problem. And that's why the Mishnah says we don't give it back. Ukadamrinan, that's like we said. So Rav Asi is good. But according to Abaye, what's the problem? Ela Abaye, the Amar, Edo, B'chasumav, Zachin lo. According to Abaye, that says even a loan document, an ordinary loan document, it's also not a problem because he says that with the witness's signature on the document already from the first date that it says on the shtar, that already gives the right to the lender to collect property that the seller buys from the borrower, Michael Maymar. We got a problem. How can the Mishnah say what it's saying? Why does it say, in other words, in the Mishnah that we don't give it back to the Malva? Because according to Abaye, even if the loan does not take place in Tishrei at the time that it says in the shtar, according to Abaye, the din is that with the signatures of the witnesses, the lender can already collect property that was bought from that date. That's the Gemara's question. Okay, so that because the Gemara's asking a question on our Mishnah onto Abaye. Okay, good. We give Lou a chance to read a Rashi. Is Lou there? You want to read Hani Mili Heichad Mata Shtar Liode. It's a nice long Rashi for you, Lou. 3 minutes to go. Okay, so see where it is? It's 5 lines down from Daitiki.
Got it. I was muted. Sorry. Hani Mili Hecha Ditata Demata Shtar Lidi. These words, how are they?
Heicha Demata Shtar Liode.
Hecha Demata. What is Demata?
These words, Hani Mili, these words will apply Heicha in the case where the mata that it arrived, shtar, the document, liode, into his hand.
Ah, okay. So if he this applies if he received it. Well, Filu Achar Zaman Zechu lo chutamin ligbos mizman hakasuv bo v'i kashya ha disnan shetare chov. Translate so far. Even after the time,
In other words, even if it's a run on Rashi, even we're saying that these words apply where the document finally was given over into the hand of the in our case the lender. And Rashi continues on that thought. Afilu la'achrisman, even if it happened after a while, meaning in Tishrei, 6 months after the document was actually written.
and what is Zechu?
Zachu lo, so they will merit, they will have a right.
Husmin,
So some of the signatures of the witnesses, the signature of the witnesses will cause the lender to have a right.
Mizman hakasu, from the time that it was written.
Ligvos, to collect the property from the buyer already effective from the time that the document was drawn up.
Kasha, and if you ask, Hadisnan, this that is written in Shvi's Stare Chov, it's an obligation.
Right. Stare Chov, like a loan document. IOU.
Hamukdamin, Pesulin, V'hamukdamin, Kisharin.
Right.
What's Hamukdamin?
So they're predated.
They're predated and they're invalid, or they're predated and they're valid?
If they're mukdamin, meaning they're predated, meaning to say that the date on the star is before the actual loan was made. So then we say on those documents that are mukdamin, we say psulin. Those documents, those shtari chov, they will be invalid. They'll be puzzle. Then Rashi says, but what about a star that was written up after the fact? The date is after the loan was actually made. The mucharim, the ones whose date is post-dated, we'll call it. The loan was made on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, but the actual money was given over 2 weeks before that. So that's called a shtar chov mucharim, post-dated.
And that's kosher.
And that will be kosher. That star will be kosher. So this is a problem now because we just got through saying, oh, even though it's predated, it's okay. It's a good document.
So what's the problem?
Rashi's saying, you see from this Mishnah in Masechah Shvius that we make a blanket invalidation on a document which is predated.
Then why does it say kosher?
That's talking about a post-dated one. We're talking about two different documents.
Right.
So we're talking about the one which is puzzle is the one that's predated. And that's the document that we're talking about in our Gemora. That he draws up the loan, he draws up the loan document, and it says on it Nisan, because that's the day that the sofer came to write the thing. But the actual loan didn't take place until Tishrei, 6 months later. So that's a classic case of a shtar chov mukdamin.
Sorry, I gotta get the phone.
Okay, we're out of time anyway. So we'll conclude for today. And we will, Bez Hashem, will be available tomorrow. Bli neder. Until further notice. Okay, Alan, have a great day.
So.